The old woman's fingers trembled as she felt the rough hands pulling her away from everything she knew. Her cloudy eyes could not see the faces around her, but she could hear her son's voice breaking as he whispered, "Mama, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." Emeka stood frozen in the dusty compound of their small house in Onitsha, watching as the strange men led his blind mother toward a black car. The envelope in his shaking hands contained more money than he had ever seen in his 17 years of life. 200,000 naira. Enough to save everything. Enough to destroy everything. "Emeka!" his mother called out, her voice filled with confusion and fear. "Emeka, where are they taking me? What is happening?" He wanted to run to her. He wanted to tear the money into pieces and bring her back. But the debt collectors would return tomorrow. The landlord had already given them one final warning, and his little sister Chinyu was getting sicker every day without proper medicine. The car door slammed shut, and just like that, his mother was gone. 3 months earlier, life in their small two-room house had never been easy, but it wasn't always this desperate. Emeka's father had died when he was 12, leaving behind a blind wife and 2 children with nothing but debts and broken promises. Mama Ada, as everyone in the neighborhood called her, had lost her sight to glaucoma when Emeka was just 10 years old. She had been a brilliant seamstress before the darkness took her world away. Now, she spent her days sitting by the window, her hands still moving as if she was sewing invisible clothes, humming old Igbo songs that reminded her of better times. "Emeka NWAM," she would say every morning, using the Igbo word for "my child." "Help me count the money from yesterday." But there was rarely any money to count. Emeka had dropped out of school after his JSS3 to work odd jobs around the market. He carried heavy bags for traders, washed cars in the blazing sun, and sometimes went hungry for days just so his mother and 8-year-old sister Chinyu could eat. The real trouble started when Chinyu began coughing blood. It was a Tuesday morning when Emeka found her curled up on their thin mattress, her small body shaking with fever. Red stains covered the old cloth they used as a pillowcase. "Mama!" he had shouted, his voice cracking with panic. "Something is wrong with Chinyu." Mama Ada had felt her way to her daughter's side, her experienced hands checking for fever. Even without sight, a mother always knew. "We need to take her to the hospital," she whispered. "Now." The doctor at the general hospital, a tired-looking man with kind eyes, examined Chinyu with concern. After what felt like hours of tests and questions, he called Emeka aside. "Your sister has tuberculosis," he said quietly. "It's treatable, but she needs medicine immediately. Without treatment—" He didn't finish the sentence, but Emeka understood. "How much?" Emeka asked, already knowing he couldn't afford whatever amount the doctor would mention. "The full treatment will cost about 150,000 naira. You can start with 50,000 for the first batch of medicines, but she needs to begin treatment this week." 50,000 naira. It might as well have been 50 million. Emeka's best day at the market barely earned him 2,000 naira, and most days he was lucky to get 500. That night, Emeka sat on the floor of their small room, watching Chinyu struggle to breathe while their mother hummed softly beside her. He had exactly 320 naira in his pocket, all the money they had in the world. He thought about his father's brother, Uncle Chinedu, who lived in Lagos and worked for an oil company. But Uncle Chinedu had made it clear years ago that he couldn't support his dead brother's family. "I have my own children to think about," he had said during his last visit. He thought about borrowing money, but who would lend such a huge amount to a 17-year-old boy with no collateral? As the days passed, Chinyu got worse. Her coughing fits lasted longer, and she was too weak to even sit up properly. Mama Ada had started praying more desperately, her rosary always in her hands, as she whispered appeals to God and the ancestors. "Na Ani," she would pray in Igbo, calling on the spirits of their fathers. "Please save my daughter. Take my life instead if you must, but save my little girl." It was during one of these prayer sessions that Emeka first heard about the moneylenders in the rough part of town. Ikena, a boy he knew from the market, had mentioned it casually while they were taking a break from loading trucks. "My cousin borrowed money from them when his father needed surgery," Ikenna said. They give big money fast, but... He had hesitated. But what? Emeka pressed. But you don't want to owe them money. They don't joke around. If you can't pay back, they take everything. Your house, your property. Sometimes even... He made a gesture across his throat. Still, as Chinyu's condition worsened, Emeka found himself thinking more and more about those moneylenders. What choice did he have? 2 weeks later, he found himself standing outside a small, dirty building in a Kanja market, where the moneylenders operated. His hands were sweating as he pushed open the door. The room inside was filled with smoke and the smell of strong alcohol. 3 men sat around a wooden table covered with money and papers. They looked up when Emeka entered, their eyes examining him like he was something they might buy or sell. "What do you want, small boy?" the largest man asked. His name was Okwudili, and everyone in the area knew to fear him. I need to borrow money," Emeka stammered. "My sister is dying, and I need money for her medicine." The men laughed, but it wasn't a kind laugh. "How much?" Okwudili asked. 50,000 naira. "And what will you give us as security? Your house? Your mother's jewelry?" Another man, thin as a stick with scars on his face, joined the conversation. "We don't have a house. We rent. And my mother has no jewelry." "Then what do you have?" Okwudili leaned forward, his eyes never leaving Emeka's face. Emeka thought desperately. "I can work for you. I'm strong. I can carry things, deliver messages, anything." "We have plenty of boys who can carry things," the scarred man said dismissively. "What else?" The room fell silent except for the sound of Emeka's racing heart. What else did he have? Nothing. They had nothing of value except... "There must be something," Okwudili said slowly, as if he could read Emeka's thoughts. "Everyone has something valuable. Think harder." That night, Emeka returned home empty-handed but with a terrible seed of an idea planted in his mind. As he watched his mother carefully feeding Chinyu with shaking hands, as he saw his little sister getting weaker each day, the idea grew stronger and more terrible. 3 days later, Chinyu collapsed completely. She couldn't keep food down, and her breathing had become so difficult that Emeka could hear it from across the room. Mama Ada had started preparing for the worst, quietly asking neighbors about funeral arrangements. "Maybe it's God's will," she whispered to Emeka that evening. "Maybe he wants to take her to a better place where she won't suffer." "No," Emeka shouted, surprising himself with his anger. "It's not God's will. It's because we're poor. It's because we have nothing." His mother reached out and found his hand in the darkness. "Emeka, NWAM. Some things are beyond our control." But Emeka couldn't accept that. He wouldn't accept that his sister had to die because they couldn't afford medicine. That night, he made a decision that would haunt him forever. The next morning, he returned to the moneylenders. "I have something to offer as security," he told Okwudili. "Oh? And what might that be?" Emeka's voice was barely a whisper. "My mother." The room went quiet. Even these hardened men seemed surprised by what they had just heard. "Your mother?" the scarred man repeated. "What do you mean?" "She's blind, but she's still strong. She can work. She can cook, clean, take care of things. And," Emeka swallowed hard, "there are people who pay good money for companions." Okwudili leaned back in his chair, studying Emeka with new interest. "You want to use your own mother as collateral for a loan?" "Just temporarily," Emeka said quickly. "I'll pay back the money in 3 months. I'll work day and night. I'll find a way." "And if you can't pay back?" Emeka couldn't answer. He couldn't think about that possibility. "Interesting," Okwudili muttered. "Very interesting. There are indeed people who would pay well for a mature woman who can provide certain services, especially one who can't identify them later." The meaning of his words hit Emeka like a punch to the stomach, but he forced himself to nod. "How much do you need again?" Okwudili asked. 50,000. "I'll give you 100,000. But if you can't pay back 150,000 in exactly 3 months..." He didn't need to finish the sentence. 150,000? Emika's voice cracked. But that's 50,000 interest. Take it or leave it. And if you can't pay, we keep your mother permanently.
No negotiations. No extensions.
Do we have a deal? Emika thought about Chinyu lying at home, barely breathing. He thought about the medicine she needed. He thought about his mother's prayers and her willingness to sacrifice herself for her children. Deal, he whispered. The contract was simple and brutal. Emika would receive 100,000 naira immediately. He had exactly 90 days to repay 150,000 naira. If he failed, his mother would become their property permanently. Bring her tomorrow evening, Okwudili instructed. And remember, if you try to run or hide, we will find you. We have eyes everywhere. Emika spent that night holding the envelope of money, enough to save Chinyu's life, while watching his mother sleep peacefully beside his dying sister. How could he tell her what he had done? How could he explain that he had traded her freedom for medicine? The next evening, as the sun set over Onitsha, Emika finally told his mother they needed to go somewhere together. Where are we going, NWAM? She asked, allowing him to guide her outside. Just to meet some people who might help us with Chinyu's treatment. She trusted him completely. She had no reason not to. When they arrived at the meeting place, a different compound from the money lender's usual spot, Mama Ada began to sense something was wrong. Emika, this place smells strange, she said, her blind eyes moving nervously. Who are these people? It's okay, Mama. They're going to help us. But as the men approached and began to explain the arrangement to her, as the truth slowly dawned on her, Mama Ada's world collapsed for the second time in her life. Emika, she called out, her voice breaking. What have you done? What have you done to us? And that was when the hands had grabbed her, when the envelope was pressed into Emika's shaking fingers, when his mother was dragged away calling his name. Now, standing alone in their compound with 100,000 naira in his hands and his mother's cries still echoing in his ears, Emika realized what he had become. He had become the kind of person who would sell his own mother. But Chinyu was alive and the medicine was already working. As he heard his little sister's breathing improve for the first time in weeks, Emika told himself he had made the right choice. He had 90 days to earn 50,000 naira and get his mother back. 90 days to prove he wasn't the monster he felt like. 90 days to save his family and his soul. But as he lay down that night, listening to Chinyu's peaceful breathing, Emika couldn't shake the feeling that some choices could never be undone, and some prices were too high to pay. Tomorrow he would start working harder than ever before. Tomorrow he would find a way to earn the money. Tomorrow he would begin the most desperate race of his life. But tonight, for the first time in months, his sister wasn't coughing up blood. And Emika wasn't sure if that made him a hero or a villain. The scream that woke Emika 3 weeks later wasn't human. It was the sound of metal crushing metal, of a motorcycle accident right outside their compound. But as he rushed outside to help, his blood turned cold when he saw who was lying in the dust. It was Ikena, the boy who had first told him about the money lenders. And clutched in his broken hand was a piece of paper with Emika's name on it. Ikena's eyes found Emika's face as people gathered around. With his dying breath, he whispered, "They know. They know what you're planning." Before Emika could ask what he meant, Ikena was gone. The paper in the dead boy's hand contained information that made Emika's stomach drop. Someone had been watching him. Someone knew about his secret plan to save his mother. 21 days earlier, the morning after his mother was taken, Emika had woken up with a fierce determination burning in his chest. Chinyu was sitting up for the first time in weeks, the new medicine already working its miracle. Her eyes were brighter, and she had even managed to eat a full bowl of rice. "Brother Emika," she said in her small voice. "Where is Mama?" Emika's throat felt like sand. She went to stay with some people who will help us earn money. She'll be back soon. But I heard her crying last night. Was she afraid? The question hit him like a knife. She was just worried about you. But you're getting better now, so she'll be happy. Chinyu smiled, and it was the most beautiful and painful thing Emika had ever seen. That day, he threw himself into work like a man possessed. He carried bags at the market from sunrise to sunset. He washed cars until his hands were raw and bleeding. He ran errands for anyone who would pay him even 50 naira. But at the end of the first week, he had only earned 8,000 naira. At this rate, it would take him almost a year to save 50,000 naira. He had less than 3 months. That's when he met Chief Okoro. Chief Okoro was a wealthy man who owned several shops in the main market. He was known for his expensive clothes and the way he threw money around when he wanted to impress people. More importantly, he was known for paying well for special services. "Young man," Chief Okoro called to Emeka one afternoon as he was loading goods into a truck. "You look like someone who needs money badly." Emeka's heart jumped. "Yes, sir. I need work. Any kind of work." Chief Okoro smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. "I have a job that pays very well, but it's not the kind of work most people would do." "What kind of work, sir?" "The kind where you don't ask too many questions. The kind where you do exactly what you're told when you're told to do it. Are you interested?" Emeka thought about his mother, somewhere in the city, probably scared and confused. He thought about the countdown in his head, 79 days left. "Yes, sir. I'm interested." Chief Okoro gave him an address and told him to come after midnight. "Bring nothing. Tell no one. If you're even 1 minute late, don't bother coming at all." That night, Emeka found himself standing outside a large compound in the rich part of town. The gates were tall and intimidating, with security cameras watching every angle. When he knocked, a huge man opened the door and searched him roughly before letting him inside. The house was the most beautiful thing Emeka had ever seen. Marble floors, crystal chandeliers, and furniture that probably cost more than his family had ever owned. But something felt wrong about the place. It was too quiet, too perfect, like a beautiful trap. Chief Okoro appeared at the top of a grand staircase, dressed in a silk robe. "Emeka, welcome to your new workplace. Come, let me show you what you'll be doing." He led Emeka to a room in the basement. Inside were boxes and boxes of what looked like white powder, carefully packaged in small bags. "Do you know what this is?" Chief Okoro asked. Emeka's heart stopped. Even though he was just 17, he wasn't stupid. Everyone knew about drugs, about what happened to people who got caught with them. "Sir, I don't think I can." "Can't what?" Chief Okoro's voice turned cold. "You said you needed money badly. This job pays 20,000 naira per delivery. You could make your money in just a few trips. 20,000 naira per delivery." Emeka's mind raced. That was more than he could make in a month of honest work. But it was also the kind of work that could get him killed or thrown in prison. "I need to think about it," he said weakly. "Think fast," Chief Okoro replied. "I have other boys who would love this opportunity. Boys who aren't afraid of real work." Emeka left that night without taking the job. But the offer haunted him. 20,000 naira. He could save his mother in just 3 deliveries. But what if he got caught? What would happen to Chinyu then? The next 2 weeks were a blur of desperate hustling. Emeka worked every possible job he could find. He cleaned gutters, he helped build houses, he even begged on the streets when no work was available. But his total savings had only grown to 15,000 naira. 64 days left. That's when Chinyu got worse again. He came home one evening to find her burning with fever, coughing up blood once more. The medicine had stopped working, and they needed a stronger, more expensive treatment. "She's developed resistance to the first medication," the doctor explained. "We need to start her on a different drug combination. It will cost another 75,000 naira. 75,000 naira. On top of the 50,000 he needed to save his mother. He now needed 125,000 naira, and he had less than 2 months to get it. That night, as Emeka sat beside Chinyu's bed watching her struggle to breathe, he made another terrible decision. He went back to Chief Okoro. "I knew you'd return," the chief said with a satisfied smile. "Desperate people always come back. When can you start?" "Tomorrow," Emeka replied, his voice hollow. "Excellent. Your first delivery is to Lagos. You'll take the night bus, deliver the package to an address I'll give you, collect the payment, and return immediately. Simple. It sounded simple. It wasn't. The bus ride to Lagos was the longest 6 hours of Emeka's life. The package in his bag felt like it weighed 1,000 kilograms. Every time the bus stopped for a police checkpoint, his heart nearly exploded from fear. The delivery address was in a rough part of Lagos called Mushin. The streets were narrow and dark, filled with the kind of people who looked at strangers with suspicious eyes. When Emeka found the right house, a woman with tired eyes and shaking hands took the package. She gave him an envelope containing 20,000 naira, just as Chief Okoro had promised. "First time?" she asked, noticing his nervousness. Emeka nodded. "It gets easier," she said sadly, "but it never gets right." On the bus ride back to Onitsha, Emeka clutched the money and tried not to think about what he had just done. He was now a drug dealer, criminal, but Chinyu would get her medicine, and he was 20,000 naira closer to saving his mother. He made 2 more deliveries over the next 10 days. Each time, the fear got a little less, but the shame got a little deeper. With 60,000 naira saved, he was almost halfway to his goal. But then everything went wrong. The start. They say you're always traveling, always with cash. What's going on? "It's nothing," Emeka lied. "I found a good job, that's all." But Ikenna wouldn't let it go. He started following Emeka around, asking neighbors questions, trying to piece together the truth. And somehow he discovered everything. "You're working for Chief Okoro?" Ikenna confronted him one evening. "You're selling drugs. And word on the street is that you sold your own mother to get money in the first place." "Keep your voice down," Emeka hissed. "You don't understand the situation." "I understand that you've lost your mind," Ikenna shot back. "Do you know what happens to people who cross Okwudili? Do you know what they'll do to your mother if they find out you're making money illegally?" "What do you mean?" "The agreement was that you work honestly to pay back the money. If they discover you're involved in criminal activities, they'll consider the contract void. They'll keep your mother permanently and probably kill you too." Emeka's blood turned to ice. "How do you know about the details of my agreement?" Ikenna looked uncomfortable. I heard things. People talk." "What people? Who have you been talking to?" But before Ikenna could answer, they heard footsteps behind them. 3 men emerged from the shadows, and Emeka recognized them immediately. They were Okwudili's men. Well, the scarred man from the money-lending office said with a cruel smile. "If it isn't our young businessman. We hear you've been very busy lately." Emeka's heart stopped. "I don't know what you mean. Don't you?" "Word is that you're making money in ways that weren't part of our agreement. Drug money, to be specific." "That's not true," Emeka said desperately, but his voice betrayed him. "Oh, but it is true," another man said. "We have witnesses. We know about Chief Okoro, about your trips to Lagos, about everything." They grabbed Ikenna first, holding him tight while he struggled. "This boy has been asking a lot of questions about you," the scarred man said to Emeka. "Asking the wrong people, getting too close to information that could hurt our business. We can't have that." "Let him go," Emeka shouted. "He doesn't know anything important." "He knows too much," the man replied calmly. Then he pulled out a knife. What happened next would haunt Emeka forever. In less than a minute, Ikenna was lying on the ground, blood pooling around him. They hadn't just killed him, they had made it look like an accident. "Motorcycle hit him," the scarred man said casually, as if discussing the weather. "Very sad. These young boys should be more careful on the roads." They threw an old motorcycle chain and some broken bike parts around the scene. To anyone who didn't know better, it would look like a tragic accident. "Now," the man continued, kneeling beside Emeka, who was shaking in shock. "About your little side business. You have violated the terms of our agreement. According to the contract, this means we keep your mother permanently."
"No," Emeka whispered.
"Please, I can still pay. I have the money. The contract is void. But," he paused dramatically, "we're reasonable people. We'll give you one more chance. What do you want? You will continue working for Chief Okoro, but now you'll work for us too." Every naira you make from your drug deliveries you give to us. In return, we don't kill you immediately, and we give your mother back when you've paid us 300,000 naira instead of 150,000. 300,000? Emeka's voice cracked. That's impossible. Then you better get creative. Because if you don't have our money in 60 days, your mother disappears forever, and you join your friend Ikena. They left him there beside Ikena's body, holding a piece of paper that contained a new, impossible contract. 300,000 naira in 60 days or lose everything. As neighbors began to gather around the accident scene, Emeka realized the true horror of his situation. He wasn't just racing against time to save his mother anymore. He was racing against death itself. And the hunters had become the hunted. Standing there, looking at his dead friend, Emeka understood that every choice he had made to save his family had only dragged them deeper into hell. But he also realized something else. He was no longer the innocent boy who had first walked into that money-lending office. He was becoming something darker, something more dangerous. And maybe, just maybe, that was exactly what he needed to be to win this game. The war for his mother's life had just begun. And Emeka was ready to do whatever it took to win it, even if it destroyed his soul in the process. The explosion that rocked Chief Okoro's mansion at exactly midnight sent flames shooting into the dark sky above Onitsha. Inside the burning building, Emeka clutched a bag containing 400,000 naira, more money than his family had ever dreamed of possessing. But as sirens wailed in the distance and gunshots echoed through the night, he realized that all the money in the world might not be enough to save him now, because the man he had just betrayed was still alive, and he was coming for revenge. 58 days earlier, after Ikena's funeral, everything changed for Emeka. The innocent boy who had once worried about stealing a loaf of bread was gone forever. In his place stood someone harder, someone willing to walk into darkness without hesitation. The first thing he did was visit Chinyu at the hospital, where she was responding well to the new treatment he had bought with his drug money. She looked so small in the big hospital bed, but her eyes were bright and hopeful. "Brother Emeka," she said, holding his hand with her tiny fingers. "When is Mama coming home?" "Soon, little sister. Very soon." But as he looked into her trusting eyes, Emeka made a promise to himself. Whatever he had to become to save his family, he would never let Chinyu know the truth about what he had done. She would remember him as a hero, not a monster. The next morning, he met with Chief Okoro to discuss his new situation. "I heard about your friend," the chief said without emotion. "Very unfortunate. But business must continue, yes." "Yes, sir. But I need to make more money. Faster. The people I owe. They've increased my debt." Chief Okoro studied him carefully. "How much faster?" "I need to make at least 200,000 naira in the next 2 months. The chief laughed, but it wasn't a kind sound. "My boy, even my best dealers don't make that kind of money so quickly. Unless—" He paused, a dangerous gleam in his eyes. "Unless what?" "Unless you're willing to take bigger risks for bigger rewards. I have a special job coming up. Very dangerous, very illegal, but very profitable. Are you interested?" Emeka didn't hesitate. "Tell me what you need me to do." "In 3 weeks, I'm expecting a large shipment from Ghana. Enough product to supply half of Nigeria. But the police have been watching my usual routes, so I need someone unexpected to help transport it. Someone young, someone they wouldn't suspect." "How much would it pay?" 150,000 naira. "But if you get caught, you'll spend the rest of your life in prison. And if you steal from me or try to run—" He didn't need to finish the threat. 150,000 naira. Combined with what he had already saved, it would be enough to pay off his debt and get his mother back. But it would also make him a major criminal, not just a small-time dealer. "I'll do it," Emeka said. Over the next 3 weeks, Emeka prepared for the biggest and most dangerous job of his life. He studied the routes, memorized the contacts, and practiced acting normal while carrying enough drugs to supply an entire city. But he also began planning something else, something that Chief Okoro would never see coming. Because Emeka had realized something important. In the world of criminals, the only way to survive was to be smarter, and more ruthless than everyone else. The night of the big shipment, everything went perfectly at first. Emeka met the contact from Ghana at a remote location near the Niger River. The man, a thin fellow with gold teeth and suspicious eyes, handed over 3 large bags filled with carefully packaged drugs. "Chief Okoro is expecting these before sunrise," the man said. "Don't disappoint him." Emeka loaded the bags into the old taxi he had borrowed and began the drive back to Onitsha. But instead of going straight to Chief Okoro's compound, he made a detour. He drove to a small warehouse on the outskirts of town, a place he had secretly rented using some of his drug money. Inside, he had set up what looked like a simple storage facility, but was actually something much more sophisticated. Working quickly, Emeka opened each bag and carefully removed about 1/3 of the contents. He replaced the missing drugs with similar-looking packages filled with flour and cornstarch. To a casual observer, the bags would look exactly the same. The stolen drugs, worth at least 300,000 naira on the street, he hid in a secret compartment he had built into the warehouse floor. Then he drove to Chief Okoro's compound and delivered the doctored bags, acting nervous and tired as any young courier would be after such a dangerous job. "Excellent work," Chief Okoro said, counting out 150,000 naira. "You've proven yourself tonight. There will be more jobs like this in the future." Emeka nodded and accepted the money, all while knowing that in a few hours, Chief Okoro would discover the theft and realize who was responsible. But by then, Emeka's real plan would already be in motion. The next morning, Emeka used his own network of small dealers, boys he had met during his months in the drug trade, to begin selling the stolen product. But he didn't sell it in Onitsha, where Chief Okoro might notice. Instead, he traveled to Port Harcourt, Enugu, and even Lagos, building a quick but profitable distribution network. Within 2 weeks, he had sold everything for 320,000 naira, enough to pay off his debt to the moneylenders and still have extra money for his family's future. But Chief Okoro was getting suspicious. "Some of my customers are complaining," he told Emeka during what would be their final meeting. "They say the product from the Ghana shipment was diluted, not as strong as usual. Do you know anything about this?" Emeka's heart was racing, but he kept his face calm. "No, sir. I delivered everything exactly as I received it." "I'm sure you did," Chief Okoro said slowly. "But I think someone may have tampered with the shipment. Someone who had access to it. Someone I trusted." The threat in his voice was unmistakable. Emeka knew his time was running out. That night, he made the most dangerous decision of his life. Instead of running or hiding, he decided to strike first. Using information he had gathered during his months working for the chief, Emeka contacted the police and provided them with detailed information about Chief Okoro's operation, location of the warehouse, times of major shipments, names of key dealers, everything. But he didn't just want Chief Okoro arrested. He wanted him destroyed. So he also contacted Chief Okoro's competitors, other drug lords who would be very interested to know about a large stash of products sitting unguarded in a mansion in the rich part of town. Finally, he sent an anonymous tip to the local newspaper about corruption in the police force, specifically mentioning which officers were on Chief Okoro's payroll. Then he sat back and watched the chaos unfold. It started with the rival drug lords attacking Chief Okoro's mansion, trying to steal his remaining product. In the middle of the firefight, the police arrived, but they were honest police officers who hadn't been bribed, thanks to Emeka's tip about corruption. The result was a 3-way battle between criminals, corrupt cops, and honest cops, all happening in Chief Okoro's compound. And in the middle of all this chaos, Emeka snuck into the mansion to steal Chief Okoro's personal safe, which he knew contained at least 500,000 naira in cash. The explosion that destroyed part of the mansion was caused by someone's stray bullet hitting a gas tank. Emeka barely escaped with his life, but he had the money. 400,000 naira. More than enough to save his mother and secure his family's future. But as he ran through the burning compound, he came face to face with Chief Okoro himself. The man was badly injured, his expensive clothes torn and bloody. But his eyes were filled with pure hatred as he recognized Emeka. "You," he gasped, pointing a shaking finger. "You did this. You destroyed everything. You forced me to, Emeka replied calmly, surprised by his own coldness. You wanted to make me a criminal, so I became the best criminal I could be. Chief Okoro pulled out a gun with his remaining strength. I'm going to kill you, boy. But Emeka was faster. The knife he had learned to carry during his months in the drug trade found its mark before Chief Okoro could pull the trigger. As the man fell, his last words were, "You think you've won? You think this ends here? There are others who will come for you. You'll never be safe." Emeka looked down at the body of the man who had corrupted him, who had turned him into a killer. "Maybe," he said quietly, "but at least my family will be alive." He walked away from the burning mansion, leaving Chief Okoro's body in the flames. 3 days later, Emeka stood once again outside the moneylender's office. But this time, he wasn't the desperate, frightened boy who had first entered months ago. This time, he was someone who had learned to survive in the darkest corners of the world. "You have our money?" Okwudili asked, surprised to see him. Emeka placed 400,000 naira on the table. 300,000 for the debt. 100,000 for the inconvenience. The money lenders stared at the cash, then at Emeka. Something in his eyes had changed, and they could see it. "Where did you get this much money?" the scarred man asked suspiciously. "Does it matter? It's clean money now, and it's more than you asked for." They counted the money carefully, then nodded. "Your mother will be returned to you this evening." But Emeka wasn't finished. "I want to make something clear. If anything happens to my family, if my mother is harmed, if my sister is threatened, if anyone even looks at them wrong, I will burn down everything you own and everyone you care about." "Is that a threat?" Okwudili asked, amused. "It's a promise," Emeka replied, his voice carrying the weight of everything he had done. "I've learned a lot in the past few months, about business, about power, about what I'm capable of when my family is threatened." The amusement died in Okwudili's eyes. He could see that the boy in front of him was no longer someone to be intimidated. That evening, Emeka's mother was returned to their small compound. She was thinner, sadder, and she flinched when he touched her. Whatever had happened to her during those months, she would carry those scars forever. But she was alive and she was home. "Emeka, NWAM, she whispered, holding him tightly. "What have you become? I can feel the darkness around you." "I became what I had to become to save you," he replied. "But it's over now. We're safe." "Are we?" she asked. "Can someone who has walked so far into darkness ever really come home?" It was a question Emeka couldn't answer. 3 months later, Chinyu was completely healed and back in school. Emeka had used the remaining money to rent a better house and start a small but legitimate business selling goods at the market. To the outside world, they looked like a family that had overcome tragedy through hard work and determination. But Emeka knew the truth. Late at night, when he thought his mother and sister were sleeping, he would check the locks on their doors and windows. He kept weapons hidden throughout the house. And he never went anywhere without looking over his shoulder. Because Chief Okoro had been right about one thing: this would never truly be over. There would always be people who knew what he had done, who might come for revenge. There would always be the temptation to use the skills he had learned in the criminal world. And there would always be the question his mother had asked: can someone who has walked so far into darkness ever really come home? As Emeka watched his sister play with her friends in their new compound, laughing and healthy and innocent, he realized that maybe the answer didn't matter. He had sold his mother for money, then stolen and killed to get her back. He had become a criminal, a liar, and a murderer. But Chinyu was alive. Mama Ada was home, and his family was together. In the end, that was all that mattered, even if the price of saving them had been his own soul. Sometimes, love requires sacrifice. Sometimes that sacrifice changes us forever. And sometimes, the only way to save the people we love is to become someone they might not recognize. This is the story of a desperate boy who discovered that heroes and villains are often the same person, just seen from different angles. This is the story of what it truly means to love someone enough to lose yourself for them. Comment Part 2.